2012. Remember that year? Remember how we all thought we were going to die in December of that year? December 21st, 2012, the end of time, the end of life as we know it. I mean, what if it had happened? We would have definitely missed the flu pandemic. We would have missed cities burning to the ground. We would have missed so much fun in 2020. But what exactly was the hype behind 2012? What caused the panic? What caused the imagined apocalypse that never happened? Was it as something as mundane as coding, as happened in Y2K? Or was it something a little more complex? Perhaps the mathematical ravings of a madman like in Harold Camping's 2011 debacle. No, it was something as generic and yet interesting as a calendar. Not the calendar we all know and love, but the calendar of an ancient people that who themselves disappeared without a trace and without explanation thousands of years ago. The Mayan calendar. The Mayan calendar evidently predicted, or by some accounts predicted, the end of time in December of 2012. But did it really? And if it did, what was the proposed method? There were several theories floating around at this time, and that's what we're going to look at today on Keto and Crime. Stay tuned. Well, I'm going to try to explain it to you and to my good friend Brenda. But too bad for Brenda, I'm not an expert, but I did do some digging. Poor Brenda. So here's what I found out. It took a while, but finally, after a bit of searching, through the power of the almighty interwebs, after upgrading my computer, the answer came, and it was rather complicated, but here goes my best shot. Our modern calendar is based on the Gregorian calendar, which is the most used and is used in most in the world. It is named after Pope Gregory VIII, who introduced it in October of 1582. The calendar spaces leap years to make its average about 365.2425 days long, approximating that 365 carry the places out 4 times day tropical year that is determined by Earth's revolution around the sun. Pretty cut and dry, don't you think? But the Mayan calendar, which looks something like this, is not based on that at all. Kind of looks like an Oreo cookie, doesn't it? Oreos. Yep. You're keto, Tracy. So anyway, that calendar actually is what people think predicted the end of our world in 2012. So what does this lovely calendar actually have to say? Well, unlike our Gregorian calendar, the Mayan calendar is a long count calendar. It measures the earth in ages and time in ages rather than in years, based on a certain amount of days, based on the revolution of the earth around the sun. They measure by different denominations of time, most notably the Baktun, which stands for 144,000 years. That's a long time. And so basically what happened in December of 2012, the current Baktun came to an end, and it was set to reset into a new Baktun, which meant something very philosophical or nothing at all. Turned out it was nothing at all. But where did all the paranoia come from besides the misinterpretation of an ancient timepiece that no one uses anymore? Well, it came from 2 different theories. I'm going to talk about the first one right now, which deals with a mythical planet known as Planet X. So legend goes that besides the 9 planets that we know that orbit the sun, there was a 10th planet that was mysteriously hidden somewhere on the far side of Neptune. Many people thought Pluto, which, as you know, has lost its planet status a couple of times to only have it restored, damn it, Pluto, that it was this mysterious planet. However, but many theorize there was still this mysterious 10th planet, known as Planet X or as the planet Nibiru. However, most, how should I say, reputable astronomers and scientists doubt the existence of this mysterious Planet X as we know it, as a defined planet. Not saying there's not a foreign body out there somewhere, but there is no evidence that there is a mysterious planet that is being drawn back into our solar system by a gravitational pull or by the sun or by a wizard that will eventually crash into our planet. So that was theory number one about 2012. What was the second theory? Let's take a look. That second theory would be that our Earth's poles are actually about to shift. That is, it would radically go North Pole to South Pole and the reverse, causing all kinds of calamity. But was this really ever a risk? The truth is that yes, the Earth's poles have shifted several times in its millions of years of existence. It's a normal thing, but it has never and will never happen all at once. It's a gradual thing over thousands of years. There will never be a sudden shifting of the poles. But what could potentially happen if this does happen? Well, scientists believe we are actually in the middle of a pole shift right now. It's happening gradually, and we're not even aware of it. But there are a few risks associated with it. As the polar shift happens, which is mainly due to the core of the Earth, which actually acts like a magnet, a basic stick magnet that you would find in any hardware store, any magic store, anything like that. Just think of the Earth's core as a basic long magnet that is slowly changing its points. As you can see here on the left, we have north and south, which is how the Earth is under a normal set of circumstances. But when the pole shift starts to happen, you have these hundreds of thousands of magnets slowly starting to turn. And instead of one huge shift where you again have one distinct north and one distinct south axis, you have several norths and several south axes. Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound too pleasant, but it's not going to cause the end of time. Our Earth will continue to rotate and circle the sun. The sun will continue to shine. There could potentially be some disturbance, but don't throw away that iPhone just yet. The Earth isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and 2012, again, was just a lot of hysteria formed by people that really did not know what they were talking about at any way, shape, form, or point of time. They took a timepiece they really didn't understand, and they made it into something awful that made false predictions and basically stirred the world up into a panic, into a frenzy. Sounds a lot like human beings, doesn't it? And that, my friends, is the story of 2012. And we are still here. And until next time, Keto Comic out.